What's up, guys? Cedoo Club here with another video. Guys, I know it's a habit of mine. I keep saying I try to do sealed sort of looks throughout my videos. You know, I like to talk about one card here, one sealed item here, but I get into the habit of just not discussing sealed for some time. And so I've kind of, this is a compilation, not a compilation video, this is a video looking at sort of the sealed space, as you know, as much sealed as there is at the moment, and just kind of having an understanding of where we are right now and kind of the sentiment and why we are seeing that price point. Guys, as usual, thank you so much for the support. It means a lot. I have hit 400 subscribers. It means a lot. And the comments are great. Loads of people are joining the UK Riftbound Discord. Again, quick plug, if you are in the UK, we have the Riftbound UK Discord. Of course, Unleashed is now out in full effect, at least pre-Rift kits. And of course, allocations are here, vendors are selling, and we have vendors in the Discord selling at retail price. They of course also let you know Origins reprints and others. So of course, if you're on UK, QR code should have popped up at some point. Scan the QR code, and if not, the links in the description as well. So do check that out. And again, just very much appreciate the support. Very, very much. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate that you guys appreciate my sentiment and my sort of evaluation of what's going on. So just looking at the sealed space, of course, we have had the most recent restocks. As you guys would have saw in my 6 months update for Origins, you may see the eye information thing pop up to click on the previous video. You know, I did discuss that the Origin set did receive some reprints, and because of this, we have seen a kind of depression in price that is continuing. You know, we see here the price of $235. That is from a high of about $350 about 2 weeks ago, or around the time I had made the video for 6 months on for Riftbound Origins. And so we have seen a major depression in that, which is great, which is good. I always say it's cool and it's fun to see price go up, but realistically, you know, we are 6 months into the TCG. We do want people to still get access to the very first set at a reasonable price. Of course, support the game, you know, buy boxes, keep them sealed. Definitely contribute to taking allocation off from vendors, because ultimately, if boxes are staying on the shelves, that paints a bleak picture. So you know, there's always conversations of maybe holding isn't the right word, but you know, holding maybe more than you need, but not excessively, and just keeping that to yourself is maybe a bad thing. But then the alternative and the opposite, really, of where LGSs have just a bunch of boxes lying around and no one wants them, you know, is far worse. So definitely buy as much as you want, open as much as you want. If we do, we're not really getting much reprints in the UK for Origins, which I'll show in a moment. The price point is kind of reflecting that. But if I can get my hands on something around retail, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I mean, really, we are seeing LGSs kind of just throw their restocks on the secondary market instantly. I am not seeing any restocks at retail price for Origins. Now, ultimately, it is MSRP, RRP in the UK, or one of them, which is recommended retail price or manufacturer suggested retail price. Ultimately, the vendors don't have to offer it at that price, even if it is a restock, even if they did buy it at distribution price still, which is again very cheap, you know, compared to what they're selling it for. So we see here on the secondary market in the UK, we are seeing, which is where I'm based, you know, we are seeing £200 as well, again from a high of 250. So again, we are seeing that depression in the price, which is good. Like I say, it's always good. You want people to get access to a set, particularly the very first set. You want people to get you know, their hands on that, because if not, then you know, people being priced out of a set, the first set so soon, is not a good look for the TCG. And again, Origins is such a great set, such a fantastic introduction to the TCG. You would want people to be able to still get their hands on it and enjoy it, you know. Again, if I can get my hands and pull any more cards, I'd love to. The most I've pulled is a Teemo overnumbered from Origins, just a non-signed. But I've had great fun. I've opened, I don't know, maybe 6 boxes at this point now, so almost I have I think about 5 boxes. I've enjoyed it. If I can get my hands on more retail, I'll open some more. And then I always like to look at the sealed case, the case space as well, because of course the cases do hold a premium. They hold a premium by virtue of it just being a collectible in itself. You know, a whole set of 6 boxes, and we do see here a number of boxes since, you know, around the time of the restock. As you guys know, the peak of the Boost Box case prices for Origins hit about 2.4k, which is crazy. That's 4 times basically retail price, which is crazy. Around 4 times retail price. So we do see here 2k. This is best offer, as you can see. Whenever there was a strikeout, it does mean that a best offer an offer was sent and it was accepted by the vendor, by the seller. So we see 2k here. We see about 1.8k here Monday 27th. 1.5k was accepted here. If there's no cutout, then it is just if there's no strikeout, this is just what they purchased it for. We see here about 1.8k, here about 2k, here about 1.8k. Again, this was Wednesday 28th, a few days ago, and it was just accepted at 1.8k. But if we look at 130 point sales, as you guys know, this is where you go to learn what a box sold for when it had a best offer given. So we see here, bottom right corner, we see 1.799, so 1.8k with a strikeout, and we then see it was actually accepted for 1.65k. So we are seeing generally in the last few days, 28th April, 29th, 1st of May, we are seeing this space of about 1.65 to 1.8k. We see here for 2k as well, but we are seeing a variation of these prices. So again, it is a dip from that crazy high of 2.4k. And in the UK, we are seeing similar. Right now, we are seeing depression in price. We see here, this is for buying now, but we see here 1.4k in pounds, basically to be able to purchase it. Again, it is a drop from 1.6, where we were going before. But again, the UK didn't receive as much stock in terms of restocks, so there isn't as much of depression in the price as, say, the US, where really, like I mentioned, $235 from a high of 350 is a really major drop. Whereas here we come from a high of 250 pounds down to 200 pounds, so not as significant a drop. And then I always like to highlight, whenever we do look at the sealed space, we do have a number of the Nexus Knights Origins sealed boxes going around. And I always say, when I do look at this, it's never a positive thing to be looking at something like this, because of course these should be given out as prizes for the Nexus Knights, but you do have bad actors in all spaces, and so we have these Nexus Knights boxes being sent out, being sold on the secondary market, but we are seeing a price point of 1.15k, and of course these are so in demand because it does give you the chance to pull a Teemo, GG Easy Teemo, so that this is in high demand. And that will never stop, and they aren't printing this anymore. There's no more of this, so people are very feral about the Teemo card. So these we have to look at this space ultimately. And then a few more items in Origins. We have the Origins Proving Grounds box. Sorry, this is getting cheaper in price. As you guys know, this had a high of like $250 at some point, but as Spirit Forge Nexus Knights then reprinted a number of the cards, it is slowly returning to being a bit of a memorabilia item, as opposed to being needed for good cards to play for your deck. So we're looking at about $130 here, and this was just on Sunday. And then in the UK we see £115. So again, very much a drop from the highs in the UK of like £180. We are seeing a dip down to 115. So at this point it is memorabilia. And again, just recently on I don't know if it has been given just yet, but you have the chance to purchase a Proving Grounds box from the Riot Games merch store if you weren't successful in any of the previous drops. I wasn't successful in any of the previous drops until this Unleashed drop, and I then suddenly was able to get a booster box. I had hoped to not. Well, anyway, it's not an issue. So, looking at Unleashed, I wanted to talk about this product in particular. So the RIFTBOUND TCG Unleashed Vault Bundle, and I'm sure you guys can let me know in the comments. This box was very much short printed. Some LGSs are getting none, some vendors are getting 1, 2, 3. I have managed to purchase 2. One is being given away in the UK RIFTBOUND Discord, just as part of the Unleashed rollout. There is still a chance to win that if you are in the UK. Join the Discord and just go in the giveaway section. But I've managed to buy 2, and so I'll give away 1. But one of them actually, they've let me know that it won't be dropping it won't be sent out until the 1st of June. So I am hoping that the other one arrives on time for the giveaway. But this is heavily short printed. Some LGSs are getting one for every 10 booster boxes they get. Some are just getting none. And from what I am hearing, they are allocating these much more for the LGSs that do have, what's the word? Not pro play, but they have a play of Nexus Night, the whole Nexus Night, skirmishes, things like that. They're being allocated towards those more. So this is going to be its own collectible by virtue of that, just because of how short they've printed it. And then I'm hearing that in many cases, the second waves of restocks are not containing any of these. So my thought is also around the Vendetta one. If that's the case as well, at risk of not even getting one of these, because I wanted to do an unboxing actually, but now that I may have to give out the one that arrives on time to the giveaway winner, I won't have one to unbox because I'll have to wait until like June, and it's a bit late at that point. All the unboxing videos are out anyway. I'm not really one to try to chase trends, but I thought it'd be kind of cool because there's so little of them. It'd be nice for people to be able to see what comes in the box. But if I'm super late and everyone else has already seen it, then there's no point. But we are seeing $70, and this is retail price at $35 and £35. So those are listening, if you can find one, grab one. It's a cool memorabilia, and you just won't be able to get one at a later point cheap. And when we see here as well in the UK, so the previous one I showed was $70. In the UK, we're looking at $85, and again, that's by virtue of the UK being smaller. Our allocation was even less, and the demand is still there. So we are seeing £85 in the UK. And then boost box prices, we are seeing about $150 in the US, basically just above retail. And in the UK, and for cases, we are seeing about 1.1k in dollars. So again, very much above retail, almost 2k in retail. I think the demand in the US is so crazy because, we are just not seeing it on our end. But, we're seeing 1.1k for the demand for cases in the US. UK, we are seeing about £130. It is basically just above retail in the UK as well, which is a good sign. It's a very good sign. And again, if people are very excited for this set, much more excited than Spirit Forge. That's just the word on the street, the sentiments, the rumbles here and there. And I'm more excited as well. It's a really exciting set. Ivan looks dope, Diana looks awesome. It is a bit odd, but it has grown on me. Particularly, I love Maple Story. If you've played Maple Story, I'm sure your brain just lit up just now. I played Maple Story growing up, and she's kind of like kind of in that form. And we see the booster box case for Unleashed go for about £770 in the UK, so just above retail. We see another one here that did sell for about £809, again just above retail. And lastly, for Unleashed, we do see, again, as I mentioned, there are bad actors, but ultimately we are seeing these on the market already. And we do see a Nexus Knight kit of Unleashed. And of course, the chase card in this is the meme Lee Sin centered card, where the writing is literally centered. It's a bit of a gimmick. In China, they are receiving a Rengar. It's not Bunny Rengar. It's a skin, the Kitty Cat Rengar. They're receiving that as part of their promo card. So here's what it is. So the Arcane box set. So we are seeing this climb in price now. In the US, it is still pretty stable at $200, but it has climbed up from that kind of $180 space. So we're looking at $210 here or $208. And in the UK, we are seeing a few best offers. So we see $225 with best offer, $230 with best offer, but we are seeing around £200. We see this one here, second to the left. It says $297 in dollars, but then best offer £201. It's just, in terms of the conversion on 130 sales. But we are seeing a climb up from what was roughly £170, £180 if you guys remember. So that floor is creeping up, and it's very similar to the Worlds bundle, which we'll get into in just a moment. It is creeping up in price, and ultimately this is a wonderful, wonderful set. I was just looking at this here. I'll quickly open this, but this is a fantastic set. You have such cool cards. You have Vi, Caitlyn, Heimerdinger, Warwick, Jinx, Victor. All fantastic cards, very, very dope. The box itself is gorgeous. I have a bunch. It's such a gorgeous piece. It's very thin, so it's very delicate. I have a bunch. And then there is actually there aren't many of these actually, and I've discussed this a number of times. There is the Chinese version, and so from what I understand, only 5,000 of the Chinese version was printed, so there's very little around. And the difference is that if you notice the banners, they resemble more the Project K versions, and for those that don't know, Project K is kind of the prototype for Riftbound. They have the Project K sort of banner, so that's the difference between that and the UK one, and this is there are much less printed for this. So I think about it now and then, but I just don't have the money to spend on this, because I don't really, like, I always say just buy what you like. So I like it, but just not enough for me to commit basically £430. And that's going to be the Arcane box. Again, it's a fantastic set, fantastic box. Sorry, it's constantly selling, it's constantly in demand. We're seeing more and more of the cards in the market, so it's in a good space. It's in a very good space, and I think the TCG sealed space in general for Riftbound is in a good space. So I'm very happy for that as well. As I've said, we've kind of been in a low period with Spirit Forge, but we are climbing out of that, and there is going to be a lot of excitement on the horizon. So, you know, thank you guys for being on the ride with me as we enjoy that. And I'll just discuss things a lot. I mean, we've already seen a bunch of cards come out. I've not discussed it yet, but we have seen, you know, the Baron Nashor sell for like almost 3k in pounds and a bunch of things. But I want to have that as a separate video after this. And really, I'll try my best to do a video on Unleashed before I do the 3 months update on Spirit Force, because of course it will be 3 months on May 13th. So I will aim to have another video. It's 5th of May when I'm recording. It's my birthday today actually, and this will come out on the 6th of May. And I hope to have one more video between then and the Spirit Forge update, which is kind of us looking at the Unleashed cards that have been sold so far. And then we go to do the 3 months update for Spirit Forge. So we see here about $150 for this. Not too crazy. And again, it's the demand this is very much what I'm seeing in the US. Demand is excessively high in the US to the point that Spirit Forge still is above retail. So we're looking at $150 here for a case. Again, it's about $1,000. So again, very much above retail. In the UK, we are really below retail. We're at £110. You can still get it for like £90 in some places, £100 in some places. So looking at £100, £110 here, and a case $720, basically retail. A box is $120 each pounds for retail. So you are looking at retail price effectively. And then lastly, we have the Nexus Knights for Spirit Forge, which has, of course, the Proving Ground reprints. And again, we see this at $400. Again, just far less demand compared to the, I think I deleted back, compared to the Origins Nexus Knight with the GG Easy Timo. We then have the Worlds Bundle. Worlds Bundle, again, we have been seeing this sort of $300 price point for some time now. It is kind of bouncing between $280, $300, and again, it has left the floor of $200 a long time ago, and we are sitting at this safe spot of $300. And again, it's a Riftbound, it's a Worlds Bundle for League of Legends. Fantastic artwork, box is gorgeous, and yeah, you can't go wrong with it. In the UK, we are looking at $230, but again, we have left that floor of around £180, sorry, £230, not dollars. And again, we have left that floor of around £180, £190 and £200. We have left that floor, and we are now looking at $230. Moving on, we have the Lunar Revel bundle. Of course, for those that don't know, there was a sort of a Chinese New Year bundle with irelia. This is still not ready for shipping actually, so you could order this back in February to arrive in May. End of May is when it ships. So this is still in the pre-sale space, so we are looking at $100 in the US. UK, we are seeing about 67. I'm not going to do it. 67. You know, it's still in the 67, around £67. So it is above retail. I think retail is like £40. But I am convinced that when this does arrive, this will drop extremely, like very much in price. I don't have one. I do want one. I obviously tried to do the whip to do the lottery for it with the Riot Games merch store. I wasn't successful at all, so I missed out on it. But I do want one. But I know I'm convinced that this will drop in price once it is on the market, because as always, pre-sales are always much more pricier because it's hardly in the market. Once people actually receive theirs, they throw it onto the market, and then everyone bites at it. So I will happily wait because it should come at some point. But that's just one to look at because it's not discussed too much. Because again, there isn't too much demand. It has a number of Spirit Forge packs in Chinese as well, so there won't be English packs. And again, the demand just isn't really there that much for Spirit Forge. And then the last piece of sealed I want to discuss is the 2025 trial decks. So again, these, as you guys know, if you have been watching me for some time, these fluctuate a lot in price. You know, One moment they're $1,000, next minute they're $700, next minute they're $400. They bounce up and down. And I think that there's just so few of this, and it's just not really that discussed that ultimately someone throws an offer out and someone just bites. So if someone throws $400 or £400, they bite it. If someone throws £700 or $700, they bite it. We see here Tuesday 28th, so about a week ago, we see here a sale for £600 or $811. We have seen 4 of these sell, and there is one left in, actually it's all out of stock now. So again, we see about $800 price point. Again, this is similar to Project K's trial deck. We have a set of 4, this is a set of 4 also. Similar, same legends, Victor, Jinx, Volibear, and Yasuo. And then we see here, this was some time ago actually, this was April 13th, just highlighting that we do again see, at least in the month of April, $750. There are just so few sales for this. We do see one more April 28th as well. We see just one bid, so I don't know how legitimate this one was. But again, we see $630 again, and there was one again April 22nd for ultimately $375, but best offer was £325, and again it fluctuates so much. As I've said, it's so up and down because there's just so few in the market. I think this is a fantastic thing to buy. I would still buy this ultimately in the year's time when people are really in the space looking for their champions, and they want a Yasuo from trial deck, or they want Victor, Jinx, Volibear. They will pay what they want for it, and if it's $1,000, it's $1,000. If it's more, it's more. But we have seen the Yasuo on its own sell for 120 recently, and we have seen Volibear on its own sell for 120 recently as well. So they are on the market. It's just there are so few of those as well. They've been opened and played with. Ultimately, we just don't know when we're next going to see. Well, we're not going to see any more at all. So just depends on the demand at the moment and how many League collectors are here at the moment and how many are really interested in a sealed trial deck. So ultimately up to them. But that's going to do it. We are about 22 minutes in, which is great because you guys know I'm usually like 30 minutes. So a bit of a shorter one. As I mentioned, the next video I aim to do is just about all the cards we've seen in Unleashed so far, from pre-rift kits, kind of all the cool sales. And again, a few looks at other things like, the metal cards, Origins, Ahri, Kaisa, the usual ones, kind of the really big hitters. I kind of having a look at that high-end space. I know most recent video I did was more the low-end space. I want to do both. And again, like my purchasing power right now, I just purchased the lower-end stuff. I bought Yasuo overnumbered. I bought the GG Easy in English, to be fair, when it was expensive. But I bought like 5 of the £3 Yasuo cards because I'm just buying what I like. So it's good to just you want to see both the expensive and the cheaper end as well, because everyone has the big bucks to throw around. Ultimately, I've got a mortgage to pay, so. Well, that's cool. We'll leave it there, guys. As usual, thank you for the support. It means a lot to me. Again, I'm almost at 500 subscribers. At 500, so you can monetize your videos at around 1K subscribers. 500, I can do things like members, which is pretty cool. So I look forward to that. That'll be pretty awesome, having a Cedoo Club or Cedoo something. That'd be pretty awesome. But we'll leave it there. As usual, guys, leave us a like, leave us a comment, leave us a subscribe. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on the sealed space. I think it's in a very healthy space, particularly for the fact that we had the Spirit Forge set come out, which wasn't as widely regarded and wasn't as enjoyed as Origins. So the fact that this has been our down space, whereas obviously Origins was the high. This has been our sort of state of almost depression, where we're kind of going through it, waiting for the next buzz. Considering this is how it's been fantastic. Very, very healthy TCG at the moment, and on the distributor level, people are excited. There was a lot being printed, and there was a lot of excitement and anticipation for Unleashed, and I think it will deliver personally. But I'll leave it. We'll keep it under 25 minutes, and yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. See you all. Thank you.